Hello. Okay. I remember that dating could be really hard. First of all, you have to find someone that's willing to go on a date with you. That's not always easy. Once you're on this date, you have to make conversation. And sometimes because you're not really comfortable with each other just yet, the conversation can get a little, awkward. Oh no, it's finally nice to meet you. And you know, that mustache brings out your eyes. No, it really does. Yeah, I love cats. Oh yeah, I don't mind like 2, 5, 10. I don't mind having 10 cats. No, excuse me. It's great. Oh, stop. Oh, no. Oh, oh, no, I've got it. Oh, please, I got it. $132. What we order? Gold? So fun. Yeah. But with all that mayhem that is in the dating world, there were a few things that I wish I knew when I was still dating. In particular, the dating mindsets that I adopted that I wish I didn't. That is perpetually presented to us in everyday culture, that is believed by our friends, our family, and spread by, dare I say it, rom-coms.
I'm John.
I'm Sarah.
It's you.
It's me.
I saw you in the street.
Are you Annie?
You're Annie?
This must be yours.
Oh.
I'm Jonah. This is my dad. His name's Sam.
Hi, Jonah.
Oh my.
Sam.
Yeah. So, you know, rom-coms, they tell us that message. So the first dating mindset is happiness is found in another person. There's a notion out there that once you find the person for you, that you're gonna be completely happy. And that's just not true. The truth of the matter is, if you're miserable before the relationship, you'll be miserable after the relationship. If you're happy before the relationship, you'll be happy after the relationship. That's usually how it goes. A lot of times it goes something like this. Before the relationship, you'd complain that you were single. It's like, oh, woe is me, I am single. I get it, I know the feelings. I suggest that you don't complain. Because if you're a complainer before, you'll be a complainer after. Or your situation may not be the best you want to find someone. And I get it, it can be quite difficult being single. However, if you're of the mindset of you're looking at the negative things or the struggles in life before the relationship, you'll still be looking the same way after the relationship. Then once you're in a relationship, you'll complain about what the other person's not doing for you. It could be she just takes too long to get ready, or it could be he can't aim when he pees. Whatever it is, you're going to be complaining about something. So you have misery before the relationship and you have misery after the relationship. The difference is misery now has company, and that's the difference. So Dr. R, how do you know this? There's two things that tell me that this is true. There was a study that was done in Germany that involved 12,000 couples, and they assessed their subjective happiness level before getting married and then years after getting married. It was actually a 15-year study. And what they found was, although individuals on average would increase in happiness once they got to their wedding day and would actually stay there days after, as time went on, their level of happiness actually normalized back to the same level as it was before they got married. So basically, it confirms the fact that whatever your level of happiness was before the marriage ends up being the same level of happiness after the marriage. Therefore, if you're miserable before, you're miserable after. If you're happy before, you're happy after. That's really the average trend that we see. Another reason why I know it's true is because I know him, you know him. We have friends that thought that once they got married, they'd be completely happy and joyous. They believed in all that. Then they found out their level of happiness was the same before and it was the same after. This is a lie that's quite prevalent in our culture. From Disney to rom-coms to Fabio. For those that don't know, Fabio was actually a model and he was on the cover of every romantic novel in the 1990s. Yes, I know I'm getting old. The second dating mindset is we're supposed to find the one or our soulmate. So this one will actually ruffle some feathers, and I completely understand. Again, I remind you, this is just my opinion. Feel free to comment below, and I would love to have the conversation with you. It's a popular notion that we were actually made to be with one person in our life. As romantic as that may sound, and trust me, I'm a romantic, I just don't believe it's true. This notion of finding the one or becoming complete or whole by another person actually came about in 400 BC by a Greek poet named Aristophanes. The story goes like this. We were once actually, as people, we had 4 legs, 4 arms, and 2 heads. We were combined as one creature. We moved about and we did things as one. And that was how we were as human beings. However, Zeus was actually threatened by our strength. And so what he did was he ended up splitting us apart. So we're walking around incomplete, always longing for that other part of us, or what we call the better half. You completing me and us becoming one. This concept doesn't seem that serious. I mean, Dr. Har, so what if someone believes that they're soulmates in the world? I get it. It seems so innocent. It seems so pure. Hey, it makes for great rom-coms.
So... that cork just got away from me.
Dr. R, what's the harm in believing this? I'm glad you asked. Dr. Raymond Nee, University of Houston, studied this concept of soulmates. He was able to classify that there's actually generally 2 categories of people when it comes to this topic. The growth category of people, they more believe that they need to work things out in order to have a good relationship. The people that believe it, which he calls the destiny group, will actually assess the person. Is this person the one? Somebody that will make me happy? Is this my Prince Charming? Is this my Cinderella? They concluded that about 73% of Americans believe in this concept of soulmates. What does it mean to really have a soulmate? Everyone has their own concepts of what to put into what is a soulmate. However, just so that we're on the same page, I'm just going to go over some beliefs out there that people have about this concept of soulmates. One concept is that when you're with your soulmate, you don't ever feel anxious. Everything seems to be better. No matter what the problem is, the soulmate will make you feel better.
When you're with your soulmate, it seems like all of your worries simply melt away. Whatever stress or worries you're dealing with seem manageable with the support of your soulmate.
Another thing that's believed out there is they can read your mind. Ever wonder where that came from? And I've heard couples fight about it all the time. I can't read your mind, or he should know better.
Soulmates have an almost telepathic understanding of one another. They finish each other's sentences. They know each other's habits, including how they'll react to things.
And another thing is, when you're with your soulmate, you just know that they're the right ones for you. Throw away logic, you just know.
At the end of the day, you don't actually need to think too hard in order to figure out whether you've met your soulmate or not. When you meet that special person, you just know. You know that you're meant to be with that person. If you don't have that deep feeling of confidence and faith in your partner, then you probably haven't met your soulmate.
So Vanessa Edwards claims that individuals that tend to be in the destiny category tend to fall into what she calls the soulmate trap. If there is a challenge in the relationship, whether an obstacle, a misunderstanding, fight, basically whatever life throws at this relationship, the people that tend to be in the destiny category tend to then question if they're in the right relationship. Maybe this is not my soulmate. Not wanting to waste time believing that their one is out there somewhere, they'll end that relationship or let it fizzle out and not even work on that relationship. So a few things that come in danger here is, 1, the person generally becomes miserable. 2, folks that tend to think in this manner have a hard time taking responsibility for their contribution to the struggles in the relationship, because what's the point? It's not my fault, it's the wrong person. 3, because of these thoughts, they don't actually work on their relationship. And 4, if they find themselves in a relationship that is actually abusive, they tend to make excuses for their partner in order to stay in the relationship. They think this is the person that they're supposed to be with, so they'll endure regardless of whether it's right or wrong, regardless of whether it's healthy to them or even their children. And I understand for a lot of people this can be really difficult to even try to understand, because we've lived for so long with this idea that there's someone out there that's made specifically just for us. And of course, if somebody actually does believe that they found their one, they found their soulmate, hey, I can't argue with that. So this is Dr. R. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Like, that really goes a long way. really does help, please click that like button. If you haven't commented yet, please leave me a comment. I would love to hear from you. Whether you agree or disagree with what I just said, what are your reasons? How would you change things? If you believe in soulmates and you believe you found your soulmate, I would love to hear from you. I'm Dr. R, and this is Worth Saying.